Hello everyone, welcome back to Love Art at Home. For our next tutorial we're going to be making clay monsters. So you will need some clay. I've weighed out 150 grams. Please make sure you do weigh out the right amount before you start because you will need the excess clay to make features and add decorations. Some slip, which is a mixture of clay and water. A suitable surface to work on, which might be a board or a piece of greaseproof paper. Something sharp like a cocktail stick. Paintbrush, water, and various other tools that you might have around the house to create patterns and textures. To start off with, roll the clay into a ball using your hands. Next, holding the ball of clay in one hand, push your thumb into the ball of clay firmly, but be careful not to push too hard that you come out the other side. Next, you need to gently rotate the ball of clay in your hand whilst pinching together with your thumb and two fingers. Just do this slowly, bit by bit, until you create a smooth round pot. Aim for the walls of the pot to be no thicker than 1 centimetre. Smooth over any cracks with your fingers. You can add some water if necessary. Next, place your thumb pot on its side and shape into a mouth. Now you can make this any shape you like. I've decided to push down in the middle and use my finger to raise up the two sides. Using some of your excess clay, pinch off 2 balls that are roughly the same size, and these are going to be for the eyes. Roll them into a ball in your hands and think about where you want to place them. So I'm making 2 eyes for this monster, but you can have as many as you like, although I usually set a limit of 5 if I'm doing this in a workshop. Don't forget to use the scratch and slip method when attaching 2 pieces of clay together. So using a sharp tool, score lines by hatching and cross hatching on the piece of clay that you want to attach, and again onto the main body of your monster where you want it to be. Apply slip to one surface. And then gently attach together. You'll notice that I'm holding the monster underneath to help support the shape while I attach the eye. Give it a little twizzle if you can to make sure that it's firmly on. If you have any slip that's seeping out round the edge, you can just tidy that up with a paintbrush. The end of a paintbrush is perfect for creating pupils. You can rotate it round to make the hole bigger if you want to, or you could attach smaller balls of clay for pupils. It's up to you. Next, I'm going to add a tongue to my monster, so I'm starting out with a small sausage-shaped piece of clay, and I'm just going to use my thumb to flatten it out. Again, I'm going to scratch and score both surfaces, so the underside of the tongue and inside the monster, and apply slip and push firmly into place. This is a bit tricky to do upside down. You might want to curl the end of the tongue over. Perhaps you could put a fly on the tongue, or a small human, or whoever else, or whatever else your monster likes to eat. Next, I've decided to give my monster some horns. So I'm going to just start with a ball of clay and pinch it out into a point. Flatten the base just on my board. Scratch and slip that into place. Again, you'll notice that I'm holding the inside of the monster while I attach it to keep the shape of the monster. And it's best to attach the horn roughly and then finish the shape once it's in place. So the exception to this rule of attaching something and then shaping it once it's in place is the teeth. It's really best to make the shape of those first. So start off with a small ball, pinch out into a point and use your cocktail stick to cut off one end. So get the shape of the tooth just as you want it before you attach it. They're just too small and fiddly to shape once they're in place. So I've decided I want to add some hooded eyelids to my monster. For some reason I'm into these eyelids at the moment and I keep adding them to everything. They're entirely optional, you don't have to have them on your monster. I'm going to use a coffee stirrer to create some texture on my monster. You could use any tools that you've got at home. I'm having a different texture on the back, so I'm just going to use one of these wooden tools. Again, you could use something like a comb or a pencil, pen lid, anything that you like, just to create impressions in the clay. If you're unhappy with any of it, don't forget you can smooth it over with your finger and start again. So I feel that my monster needs something else. I'm going to give it some eyelashes. Rather than make individual eyelashes and try to join them, I'm going to make 3 small sausages of clay and pinch them together so they're already attached before I put them on to the monster. Scratch and slip them in place to make sure they're securely attached. The last thing I want to do is to give my monster some feet. So again, with my excess clay, I'm going to roll 2 balls of clay, roughly even size, and attach them to the monster either side of the tongue. I'm going to use a wooden stick just to make sure that the foot is securely on by smoothing the clay of the foot to the body. Lastly, I'm going to use the edge of my wooden stick to create some claws. And there we have it. This is one I made earlier in a recording that was a disaster. But I thought you'd like to see him now. They're quite a nice, cute couple. You can see on the back I gave him some spikes as well. It's important to think of your monster from all angles. He's actually got a little fly in his mouth, I'm not sure if you can see that. And there she is. So you can add anything you like to your monsters. I've decided to add eyelids and eyelashes and horns and spikes and teeth, but you can put anything you like on. So you might want to add a crown or a bow or a tail. If you do add something like a tail, make sure that the majority of the tail is stuck to the body to keep it secure. Okay, have fun making these. I can't wait to see the photos. And thanks ever so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to see future lessons each week.